Hey guitar folks, boy have I got myself in a mess now. I was looking around on the old Facebook marketplace here the other day and I came upon this fella that had a steel guitar for sale. And I'm never been a really a player. I've always messed with it. And I had a dobro when I was young, 50 years ago. And but I've always been interested in the sound, of those early players, the lap steel players, like Herb Remington and Noel Boggs and fellas like that, back in the Western swing era in the 50s. And so this thing come out on Marketplace here the other day, and let's see if we can turn the camera around here and have a look at this thing. What this thing is, this is an old Fender 400. I guess back in the 60s, in that time period. And I guess you would consider it maybe a transitional sort of an instrument in that it's still an 8-string, and it has some pedal power and a lever, so we have a little bit of mechanism, and so it's not a fully what you would think of as a pedal steel, like a 10-string with all the levers and pedals, and but it's just right for me, my speed, I guess, and what I play and how I play. And this thing is, still retains a lot of its the early era lap steel sound, and that's what I really like. So I guess this will be my wintertime project, to fix this thing up a little bit and work on some of these pedals and pulls and levers, and change it around a little bit to suit my playing for like C6, A6, B6, E13 tuning, and get it to where you can transition from one key to the other with just the press of a pedal, instead of having to retune strings. And that's kind of replaces, like if you have a 3-neck or a 2-neck or whatever, instead of having all those necks, I've always thought it would be kind of nice if I could just rig mine up to press a pedal or a couple of pedals and do that, without retuning, just switch keys on the fly, or having a bunch of necks. And Anyway, this thing was, I'm not sure what it was set up for. It was probably an E9 would be my guess. And a couple of these pedals will, well, they'll change a couple of strings, and if I'm real careful and don't push them down too far, I can still get an effect sort of, and so it's really a fascination and really interesting, to me how that works, and combining the mechanical, with the sound, in order to get the setup that you want, and you really, a steel player, they work that out over time, and you work your own style out, more or less, in your own tuning and all of that, your own setups. And so maybe I can work out my ideas on this thing here over this winter, and well, the first thing that I had to do to get this rig back up and playing shape was to get a round rod and tap some threads on it, and cut it down to size, and then heat it up, and bend the little hook up on the other end to hook it into the mechanism underneath the guitar, and so that made the pedals all functional again, getting that piece made. And while I was at it, I removed one rod from the knee lever, and make a pull on the fourth string. So little by little, this thing's coming back to life. I'll keep working on it and get all the pedals functioning and get them tuned and get all the pulls adjusted, the changes that I want to make. What I've tuned up to here is a D6, I guess, tuning, which is where's it at? We have D, A sharp, G, F, and B, A sharp, G, low F. And I set the knee lever on the 4th string. That'll take that down from an F to an E. That's about all I've done so far as the pedals, because that's about all I know. I'm just making this up as I go. And Fender put out a little chart with the guitar that explains how to set up the pedals and the pulls. And they start with A6 as the basic tuning, and then the first pedal would pull the second and third to a B and a G sharp, and then the second pedal you can set it up to just pull the third to a G sharp, and so forth and so on, and you can come up. Well, this is for 8 pedals. I've only got 3 plus a knee lever. And so you can come up with just a myriad of tunings, by setting up the pedals, and of course you can change this to whatever you like. If you form your own style. I think about every steel player does that, as they form their own style and their own tunings and their pedals, and to a degree. And I know that well, I guess more of the mainstream, or more commercial, if you wanted to say it that way, would be like an E9 configuration, and I'm not really into that sound and that way of playing. I'm kind of in the old stuff, and it's what appeals to me, and it's, I guess, kind of a simpler way to play, if there is such a thing. Anyway, it's a fascinating thing, this little gadget here. Well, hope y'all are having a good December, and y'all have a good Christmas, and we'll be picking on down the line.